bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
2 million Americans a year find themselves in debt. How do you get back on track? We're going to talk about that next on Newsmakers. Hello again, and thanks for joining us. I'm Joan Boyett, and with me today is Joan Redding. She's the president for the Credit Counseling Center, and today, of course, we're talking about credit counseling and credit card debt. So nice to have you with us today.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Now, this is an important topic. I know we talk about it from time to time on Newsmakers, but when you look at numbers that are 2 million Americans a year who are just in debt, is that a high number? Is it going up? Is it going down?
I think it's probably going up. It's hard when people aren't having a savings. I see a lot of people who don't have a savings account. So if they have one financial glitch, if they're out of work for a week, they had a new baby and they didn't really think about all the planning that goes on to the daycare costs, and they decided to give up an income. Now they have to adjust their expenses to adjust to that income. Sometimes it gets very difficult to give up things.
Right.
So then they tend to rely on their credit cards, which is not a source of income, but it's sometimes used as such.
Right, and I think planning is a good word to use there, because I'm sure there's a lot of factors that come along too that you just don't plan for, maybe medical expenses and things like that that hurl you into debt that you weren't prepared for.
Right, I think that's a good point, because I tend to use the word spending plan rather than the word budget, because somehow we don't like that word. I don't want to go on a budget vacation, but I like to plan my vacation, and I want you to plan what you're doing with your spending so that you can hold on as much of the money for you when you need it. The idea of having a 3 to 6 months of your operating costs in the bank as an emergency fund. A lot of clients I talk to don't have at least $500 to pay for a car repair. So when they don't have that, they wind up using their credit card, and then they get in this vicious cycle of using the plastic all the time.
Right, and as you said, no savings accounts, no money to fall back on.
Right, which gets you into a pickle.
Right, okay, well, and then when you have people like creditors and things knocking down your door, I'm sure it causes a stress factor that makes things worse.
Right. Through our service, which is a nice thing, the credit card companies will reduce those interest rates, which you're seeing now at 26 and 28% interest rates. I've seen as high as in the 30s. We can get those interest rates reduced. We can stop the over limit and late fees so the client can pay down the debt and pay off his creditor, so everybody wins. It's a win-win solution. It's a fabulous program because you're paying the debt back and you can still eat.
Right. Now, when do you reach a point where you say, you know what, it's probably a good idea to get yourself a credit counselor and talk to a professional to help you out?
There's some common flags to look at. If you're using plastic, even for everyday groceries, that kind of thing, if you're using it to put gas in your car, if you're also getting some tension and anxiety knowing that the plastic's getting out of hand, if you're reaching limits that you can't pay off. So if you're not sure, I would suggest take the plastic out of your wallet, give it a rest. If you find yourself keep going back, you're going to need to look at a credit counselor. If you're not reducing your balances, I would encourage you to go to a credit counselor, because it means the interest rates are getting out of hand. If you're getting phone calls, there's no reason to sit with that kind of financial stress. Absolutely call a credit counselor. Right,
but it's important to research your credit counselor and who you're using.
Right, there are some good, legitimate, wonderful credit counseling centers. Thank you very much, ours. And there's also people who are not looking in your best interest. So it's good to research, make sure that they're a United Way agency, that they're a nonprofit. Look at their board of directors. Do ask those questions of a credit counselor. A legitimate credit counseling center will answer all those questions and be more than happy to share all the information they have.
Okay. Do you see success stories being at the credit counseling center? Do you see people who have dug their way out and successfully are staying there?
Absolutely. We get lots of clients who come in. In fact, we miss them. They would come in and see us at least once a month to drop off their payments as we're paying off their debt. And they're delighted. Even coming in after the counseling session, we haven't done anything yet, they're just delighted that a plan was in place. The relief is incredible. We get lots of hugs and kisses, which we welcome. But it just to know that there's a plan in place, that I can still live my life and also pay back my debt.
Okay, wonderful. We're out of time, but we did want to mention that you are quoted in Red Book this month. There's a whole article on credit and keeping your credit healthy and successful in here as well. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching. This hour's Newsmaker has been Joan Redding. She's president for the Credit Counseling Center, and I'm Joan Boyett.